In the book of John, chapter 1, verses 4 and 5 states, "In him was life, and that life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." And then Paul, in 2 Corinthians 3 and 18, adds another layer of revelation, one the church has never fully understood, when he said, "But we all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory." If the life of Christ is the light of men, if we are being changed into the same image he revealed, then Christianity was never meant to be a religion of spectators. It was meant to be a path of transformation, a metamorphosis, a vibrational ascension. But something happened, something subtle, something intentional. The message shifted. The teachings that ignited the inner light were reduced to doctrines that dimmed it. The early followers spoke of awakening, but modern religion speaks of waiting. The apostles taught unveiled faces, but tradition rebuilt the veil. The mystics taught inner illumination, but dogma replaced it with fear-based obedience. And what began as a living, breathing science of divine embodiment became an institution built on conformity. Let's tell the truth boldly. These teachings weren't simply forgotten. They were interrupted, intercepted. They were restructured. When Christianity spread with uncontrollable power, empire took notice. The councils of Nicaea weren't mystical gatherings. They were political negotiations. Books were removed, gospels burned, mystics silenced, esoteric teachings classified as dangerous. The divine feminine was erased, the inner temple forgotten. And why? Because a human being who knows that light lives in them cannot be controlled. A man who awakens to the kingdom within cannot be manipulated. A woman who realizes she has been transformed into the same image as Christ becomes a threat to every system built on fear. Religion couldn't preserve awakening, so it replaced revelation with repetition. But light cannot be buried. It can only be delayed, and the rising has begun. Heaven is not a post-mortem destination. It is the highest bandwidth of consciousness where the human soul becomes compatible with divine intelligence. Heaven is coherence, the harmonizing of your inner world so perfectly that your vibration becomes indistinguishable from the vibration of God. This is why Jesus didn't preach about heaven. He preached the kingdom. The kingdom is not geography. It is architecture of the inner temple aligning with the divine feel. The ancients understood this. The flower of life in Egypt, Sri Yantra in India, the tree of life in Kabbalah, the Merkaba in mysticism, the chakra nadi system in the East, all different ways of mapping the geometry of consciousness when it rises into higher frequencies. Heaven is the soul vibrating in its original design, unfragmented, unburdened, undistracted by the illusions of separation. this is why Jesus said, the kingdom is within you. Because the external realm you experience is a reflection of the internal realm you embody. Dimensions are not distances, they are densities. You do not move upward, you move inward until the veil dissolves and the realm of spirit becomes visible. And this is why mystics can see what religion cannot. They have adjusted their frequency enough to perceive what has always been there. When the physical body dies, the consciousness does not disappear. It transitions through layers. These layers are not stacked like floors, they are interwoven like light. The soul moves through various realms. You have the etheric realm, the astral realm, the mental realm, the causal realm, the spiritual realm. These are not fantasies. They are frequencies, and it has been documented across cultures for thousands of years. Egypt mapped it in the Book of Coming Forth by Day. Tibet recorded it in the Bardo Tadol. Kabbalah describes the Olamot, the worlds. Paul spoke of the third heaven. It is all the same structure. External heaven exists, but only as an extension of the inner heaven you cultivated. And this is why Jesus said, where I go, you cannot come now. Because the disciples had the love, but not yet the vibration. But later he said, you shall follow after, because the pattern he revealed was reproducible. When Kemet spoke of Ku, the shining one, they were describing the light body. The pyramid texts speak of the opening of the mouth, the rising of the Ka, and the illumination of the Ba. These were not rituals for the dead. They were technologies for the living to unlock the higher vehicles of consciousness. In Tibet, monks who reach the state of Dzogchen begin to shrink at death. In that state, their bones soften, their skin glows, the body dissolves from the feet upward. This is recorded, it is photographed. These things have been witnessed. In India, ancient yogis speak of the Vajra body, a diamond-like body of indestructible light activated through breath, sound, and awareness. The Essenes practice sun gazing, breath retention, fasting, and body purification to increase their vibrational field. Kabbalists speak about ascending through the 7 palaces to unlock the Merkaba, the throne chariot of God within the human soul. Different languages, same religion. Humanity has always carried a hidden blueprint for transformation into light. When Jesus transfigured on the mountain, he was not showing divinity, he was showing destiny. His face shone like the sun because the pineal gland had opened fully, releasing biophotonic light through the spinal networks. His garments became white because the electromagnetic field expanded beyond the limits of visibility. The disciples fell on their faces not because of fear, but because the nervous system collapses in the presence of higher coherence when one is unprepared. And then something even deeper happened. Moses and Elijah appeared. Why? Not because they floated down from heaven, but because Jesus entered a frequency where beings of light became visible. This transfiguration is not a miracle. It is a dimensional overlap created by vibrational elevation. This is the path Jesus intended. Not worship, not religion, resonance. When Jesus said, I am the way, he was speaking as a Christ pattern, the vibrational template of the awakened human. I am the way equals follow this frequency. I am the truth meant align with this consciousness. I am the life meant activate this light within yourself. No one comes to the Father except through me. No one accesses the divine field without elevating to this frequency of consciousness. He wasn't excluding others. He was explaining vibrational law. You cannot enter a realm whose frequency you do not match. Jesus didn't come to be worshipped. He came to become an example to awaken humanity. Religion made him an idol. The mystics understood him as a model, and the apostles knew it. Paul was not a theologian. He was a mystic. He was a mystic when he said, "We shall all be changed." He was speaking of the molecular, the vibrational, energetic shift that happens when the spirit activates the light body. He understood how our bodies are designed. The physical body, the psychic body, the spiritual body. He understood that resurrection is not resuscitation, it is transmutation. He understood that immortality is a frequency, not a location. Now let me take you deeper into the scientific confirmations and outline 6 aspects of your body. DNA. DNA emits light, biophotons. Every strand of DNA behaves like a miniature laser. It absorbs light, it stores light, and releases light in patterns based on your emotional vibration. Fear constricts DNA. Love relaxes it. Gratitude expands it. Meditation reorganizes it. Your spiritual practice literally changes the geometry of your cell. When you're talking about the heart, it's an electromagnetic field. Your heart produces an electromagnetic field 60 times stronger than the brain and detectable up to several feet away. When Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart," he wasn't being poetic. He was describing field coherence. The more coherent the heart, the stronger the light emission of the body. Then you have the pineal gland, photoreception. The pineal gland contains rod and cone structures, the same photoreceptors that can be found in your eyes. This means you don't just see with your eyes, you see with your inner light center. When Jesus said, "If your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light," he was describing the pineal activation. Then you have cerebrospinal fluid. This is also liquid light. Cerebrospinal fluid flows around the brain and spine like a sacred river. Meditation, breath work, and prayer increases its movement, charging the pineal gland and releasing DMT-like molecules of illumination. This is the river of living water Jesus spoke of. Then you have the spine. This is your inner ladder. Jacob's ladder was not outside. It is the 33 vertebrae of the spine. At the top sits the Holy of Holies, the brain, the pineal gate, the place where heaven and earth intersect. This is why Jesus died at age 33. It is symbolic, it is esoteric, it is anatomical. Then there's quantum coherence. Mystical states produce gamma wave bursts that reorganizes the entire brain. And this is why Moses' face glowed. This is why Jesus transfigured. This is why saints radiate light. It is bioelectromagnetic coherence returning the human to its original design. And this is what you are. Here are 5 practical directives to help you get there. 1. Stillness, the chamber of illumination. Stillness is not empty. It is the moment the inner temple aligns with the divine field. The nervous system shifts into coherence. The frequency rises and light begins to form. 2. Purify your frequency. Clean your field. Forgiveness cleans the emotional body. Truth cleans the mental body. Gratitude cleans the energetic body. Love cleans the spiritual body. Without purification, light cannot enter. 3. Activate the inner temple. Breathe with intention. Move the spine slowly. Let the cerebrospinal fluid rise. Let the pineal glow. Honor the sacred geometry of your being. You are the temple. You are the altar. You are the priest. 4. Align the kingdom within. When your inner world is in order, your external world rearranges itself. This is energetic law. This is Matthew 6:33 decoded. Seek alignment, and everything else finds its place. 5. Walk as a luminous being. Guard your words. Guard your thoughts. Guard your energy. You are shaping the field around you. You are emitting light. You are restructuring reality. Become what Christ revealed, a human being transfigured by truth and illuminated from within. This is the light body. This is the secret the ancients preserved. This is the mystery religion buried. This is the science awakening to the truth. This is the sacred curriculum. Lesson complete.